Well, hello cuties and welcome back to the channel. Today is so exciting to me because I haven't reacted to a new, like a 4th gen girl groups almost at all on my channel yet because I'm getting ready. So I haven't seen IVE, I haven't seen NewJeans, I haven't seen Le Sserafim almost at all. So I'm very excited to react to NewJeans' HANNI today, and she's gonna be performing on Lee Mujin Service, which is one of my favorite platforms for 4th gen singers. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. Please don't forget to check my Patreon, where I create up to 6 extra reactions and analysis per month. And I do not choose them, actually. You choose them for me. And also, please don't forget to check my webpage, which is gonna be down in the description and in the pinned comment, along with the Patreon link. And on my webpage, you're going to find all the information about my singing lessons if you would be interested. So now, without any further ado, HANNI on Lee Mujin Service. I love how I call her literally Honey. I hope the pronunciation of her name is very close because when I say it, it comes out as Honey, but she looks adorable. So I would say that that name really does apply, huh? So HANNI on the Lee Mujin with a, oh my god, it's just a feeling, war. And lucky. Okay, let's go. All right, let's start with oh my god.
Oh my god, 예상했어 나 I was really hoping that it will come through. Oh my god, 단 너뿐이야 asking all the time about what I should do.
There's a lot of fry coming out there. Honestly, I heard her talk because I was getting ready the video, and she has much more sweet and lightweight kind of feeling in her talk in comparison to her singing. Her singing is much more substantial. It's much more out there. It has a lot of fry. Oh my god. You can hear it. A lot of fry.
No, I can never let him go. 너만 생각나 24. 난 행운 아야 정말로 I know. 널 알기 전까지는 나 의미 없었어 전부 다 내 맘이 끝이 없는 걸 I know.
There's a lot of long phrases with essentially no places to breathe. So I'm really... It's funny, every single episode of Lee Mujin, we get the first song as very hectic. There's rap there, they're usually very fast. So it's like an acoustic adaptation of one of their songs. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this is probably NewJeans' song.
I'm going crazy right 어디서든 몇 번이든
This is more the rap part.
I hear his voice through all the noise 잠시라도 내 손 놓지만 no 걱정 없잖아 cause
I like the speech quality. She basically did not rap. She more of applied the more speechy, kind of conversational tone into her singing.
I got someone 혼자라도 괜찮아 cause I love someone.
She has a lot of fry. It's coming from a little bit of a restriction. So she restricted her throat a little bit and then add tons of fry on top of that. It's really interesting. I kind of like, you know, I'm a fry girl. I do love when people fry because fry can be very healthy. Okay. Woo! Cute! So again, I was really kind of expecting a little bit of a, let's say, lighter, angelic, sweet tone. And we received actually a pretty clean, pretty piercing tone. Not too much, but definitely out there. Pretty distinctive quality. A lot of fry, a little bit of a restriction, but a lot of fry. I think that fry is actually adding a little bit of this maturity to that tone because she's still incredibly young. Like, you can look at her face and you can definitely tell that it's a young girl. So the fry is definitely giving her singing a little bit of an edge. Okay, let's continue. All right.
Just a feeling 느낀 그대로만 I think about it 주저하지 마 Just be waiting 이젠 준비가 됐어 너를 내게 줘 내가 갖겠어 처음부터 다 난 보여줄 순 없지
I really like her work with air. She's not really trying to cover up a lot of her breath ins and just all of that sounds are not covered, so she's not trying to go for the silent breath in singing. A lot of people do tend to criticize that. I'm not one of them. I think singing should sound natural. I don't need singing to be hygienically clean. People tend to cut everything out like this. I don't mind it. I actually like when a lot of Japanese singers do work a lot with the sound of air and the sound of breathing, and it kind of incorporate it into the overall style that they're using. I like it. I don't mind it. I actually think it's pretty charming.
호기심에 자극하는 것도 괜찮아 궁금해 미칠 것만큼 결국 너는 내게 오게 될 거야 원한다면 내 길 걸어도 좋아 한 걸음씩 조금 더 내게로 다가가 널 차지하고 말 거야 Just a feeling
Not a lot of vibrato, basically just straight tones. It would be interesting to see or hear her singing slightly higher because she's not mixing too much. So I would like to see if she would go into more strain space because, if you do push it too high without actually getting into more comfortable and into more like a better resonant space, there is definitely a risk of strain. So it's going to be interesting to see her singing. I'm kind of going to go ahead and guess that there's going to be a passage somewhere in her singing here where she's going to go higher. So I'm interesting to hear that.
Think about it. 주저하지 마, just be waiting. 이젠 준비가 됐어. 너를 내게 줘, 내가 갖겠어. 딴 사람과 다정한 내 모습을 살며시 보여줄 거야. Oh yeah.
Charming voice, I really have to say. This is one quality. She does not have too bright of a voice, so she is not very lightweight type of a singer. She has this really nice alto vibe in there, so it comes out a little bit more mature. I really like it, and she does work well with air. And I think if she would get sometimes a little bit more airy tones in, she would resemble a lot from a little bit of Wee-in from Mamamoo, to me at least. But Wee-in is a little bit more airy singer. She does use a lot of air, which makes her sound a little bit more fuzzy, more warm. HANNI is going for very clean tones. Even her like higher spaces, higher tones are pretty clean. They do not have a lot of vibrato in. She does not, she does not finish them with a lot of vibrato. Again, as I said, she does cut them off with either a cry or just interrupts them at the very end. They're clean, they're straight. So I would love to hear her in more maybe an R&B or like a soul ballad where she would be able to utilize a little bit more fuzz, a little bit more air. Because her lower spaces do have that. There's a little bit of a movement there. Generally, if you have a lot of strained places, like if people are straining a lot and a very high belts, the movement is limited, right? If you would try to do a little bit of a run or a little bit of a riff, the pressure that vocal cords are under would basically limit that for you heavily. And she got a little bit of a movement there. She did a little bit of riff or a little bit of run of on the way down from that higher belty space. And you can actually audibly hear a lot of resonance in her nasal space, like behind the nasal space. In her soft palate, there is a lot of resonance in there, which is pretty healthy.
느낀 그대로만
And a lot of that fry.
주저하지 마, just be waiting. 이젠 준비가 됐어. 너를 내게 줘, 내가 갖겠어. Just a feeling, that's what I can show you. Think about it, 기다리고 있어. Just a feeling, that's what
I think she's incredibly comfortable with her lower spaces. I recently recognized that a lot of singers that I've seen and heard are so directed from the get-go to a very high spaces, and just all of their technique is focused on that, which is fine because like that's where we're trying to get. But at the same time, I hear a lot of lacking in their natural lower register. And I don't see that with her. She has a very confident lower register. It has a beautiful quality. It's very relaxed. She does add a lot of fry on top of that, but I don't mind that. I really actually like that fry. And she has a very solid, full lower register.
I can show you. Think about it.
That's a little bit of an airiness in their upper tones. And heavier lower tones.
일어나도 마음이 편한 게 아니야. 혹시라도 네가 돌아설까 봐. 그만 내게 말해줘. 너를 사랑한다고 기다리고 있잖아.
Really pretty right there. So see, there are different things to finish your notes. You can do a vibrato, or you can do a vibrato there, or you can kind of cut it off with a little bit of a cry. That can be there. Or if you are a little bit more fancy, like Honey here, you can do a little bit of riff or rundown, which is more kind of signature thing for R&B and soul. And of course, everything that's been adapted from these styles, so some pop-ish sounds as well. But this is definitely much more difficult. Like you have to be able to rely on your breath and be able to have a lot of athleticism in your voice.
주저하지 마, just be waiting. 이젠 준비가 됐어. 너를 내게 줘, 내가 갖겠어. Just a feeling, that's what I can show you.
I like the airiness in the upper tones. Just a feeling. So she starts very aspirated tone, just a feeling, and into very clean lower space.
Think about it, 기다리고 있어. Just a feeling, that's what I can show you. Think about it, 기다리고 있어.
Well done. Oh, she's so cute. Oh my god.
Hey!
One thing that I have to say about this song, this was matching her range perfectly. She still got tons of resonance and like everywhere. She was able to get a little bit of a movement there, so it did have enough range for her to get a little bit of a riff and a run and a little bit of a structure to her style and to her stylization that she was doing with her voice. She could modulate a little bit. It was enough space for her to play around, and it was great for her range. Like really nicely chosen song for her range.
가면 보면 너는 진짜 너무해. 때론 날 무심하게 랩해. 깨진 잘 불안미란 벌을 내려줘.
This is a blessing for like a little heavier voices that are not necessarily really high pitched and just sweet and lightweight. Now, when this type of voice adds a little bit of an air in it, so it's not that piercing, straight, bright tone, it gets this honey, gorgeous, earthy quality that's just so fuzzy and warm. It's beautiful.
고개를 푹 숙인 채 건데 그냥 나 내 품에 안겨 있고 싶은데
Very pretty.
나를 선 너의 말들에 찔러서 피가 났어 난.
For her age, she has very mature tone. Honestly, very mature tone. If I would hear her singing, I would probably guess her a little higher age. I really like it. I really, really like it. And she is using her strengths for, you know, for her benefit, which also the fry and also the way she kind of works with air. She knew that with maybe faster songs that need a little bit more of a rougher dynamics in her voice, she was using much more of a cleaner tone or fluctuation. And here she's basically keeping herself in a very aspirated place that is, you know, fitting the song, fitting the vibe.
근데 걱정인 거냐 운전하는 법을 너는 알려줘.
Ooh, pretty.
그러다가 다 헷갈리게 가끔은 예쁨이 내게 줘. 그럴 때면 나는 어떻게 해야 할지 몰라.
Very lightweight head voice there. That was very, very, very pretty.
무너지고 마른 나의 맘을
There's a slight, tiny distortion on her voice there. It's very almost inaudible. You will have to hear it very careful. Listen very carefully to hear it. Slight, very almost just a touch of a little bit of a distortion. I like that. That's interesting.
baby 넘는 하루는 상상하기조차 싫은걸 아무것도 할 수 없을걸 난 바보가 돼버릴 거야 baby 화를 무너지고 마른 나의 맘은 화를
Nicely done.
내게 이러지 마 baby 넘는 하루는
Miss Honey could literally be in a rock band. You would be actually surprised. She has this very sweet style, and her singing style is very polished, I would say. But if you would give her like half a year of rock influence, she would be literally she would be the new Paramore singer. I swear to God, she does have a good basis for that.
상상하기조차 싫은걸 아무것도 할 수 없을걸 난 바보가 돼버릴 거야 분명히 나는 얘기했어 그날 너에게 사랑이 말할 때 어떤 순간들이 우리를 찾아와도 흔들리지 않기로 해 근데 넌 파도를 타듯
The fry with a restriction. He. See, on some vowels, it's really hard to do fry without that restriction. You have to restrict a little.
내 맘을 마구 휘저네 날 가라앉지 않게 구명조끼라도 줘 사랑해 나를 시험해 난 밀린 숙제 검사만 해 도저히 못 풀겠을 땐 그냥 너가 좀 알려줘 yeah.
So why is it comfortable for us to listen to her in her lower space without kind of feeling that need to like, go, belt, go, do it, come on, right? But most of the singers, everybody was like, when is gonna belt? When are they gonna belt? What time? What minutes? What second, right? With Honey, we don't really get that. We're enjoying her lower register. We're enjoying her color there. It's because she's very confident there. And she did put a lot of work in that register. It's very full. It's resonant. It has all those little colors of the rainbow that we need. So it's not very one-dimensional. She's using air. She's fluctuating with the air. And she's making it incredibly interesting, and her confidence in that space is also coming through.
답을 알게 됐을 땐 환한 미소를 내게 줘 나를 정신 못 차리게 만들어줘 난 화를 무너지고 마른 나의 맘은 화를 baby 넘는 하루는
This slide is so perfect for
상상하기조차 싫은걸 아무것도 할 수 없을걸 난 바보가 돼버릴 거야 baby what it is 무너지고
I just know that if she would want to, she can add a little bit of distortion on top of that. And now that would be, a lot of people would be shocked. Oh, I like that climb into the head. Girl loves her fry. I heard NewJeans are actually using a lot of runs and riffs that they are pretty much like into that. I'm really excited to hear them for the first time. You have to recommend me good performances because I am so interested. Pretty. Very vibey song. The movement. First of all, I'm excited that she's also accompanying herself. See, accompanying yourself as a musician, as a singer, some singers feel incredibly comfortable there because that's their kind of safe space. They can lean on that guitar and they can kind of dissociate a little bit from singing, so they do not heavily focus on singing only. And then there are some singers who just can't. They need the full focus on their vocals, and they just, you know, like the second instrument would distract them a lot. But, you know, it's always very, very cool to see someone being able to accompany themselves. It is definitely dividing your attention. So for me, it used to be incredibly difficult. So it's really cool. Such a pretty run, right? So pretty. It's not big, so she's moving in a very tiny space, but those are usually aesthetically the prettiest because then you want to do like the entire long run to impress. So if you're working on such a tiny space, this is gorgeous. Very lightweight and airy. It's pretty. When her tone came through, like the lower tone, oh, it hits. Very, very stable place. It was not diffused. There was still a certain step with so you can hear it depends on how much air you get through, but the tone has to be stable. And if you would add a little bit to it, it can be able to clean up, right? Her stability is great. I love how HANNI literally persuaded me that she can be a rock singer and then just went ahead and just proved me that she could be also like really alternative folk singer. Like, let's go versatility. She cleaned up a little bit. This is much cleaner tone. same placement, same everything. She just cleaned up a little bit of an air. She reduced it, so the tones are cleaner, a little sharper. But as I said, like good placements resolves, and just like it really is about a fluctuation of an air if you get a clean tone. Very pretty. It was very cute, very folk. I really like that. I like that she incorporated a little bit of a movement in her voice as well. On a very tiny scales, those runs and riffs, but especially those riffs. Very tiny scale, but very impressive. All right, and now we have the duet. Let's go.
Do you hear me? I'm talking to you. Across the water, across the deep blue ocean, under the open sky. Oh my, baby, I'm trying.
Oh, that his tone quality is coming through here a lot, and he's having this like a sweet potato sound sometimes. And the world, right? I like when he's stylized like that. I don't mind it with Lee because I know that he does it stylistically, and it's not just his only choice how to approach the song. So,
but I hear you in my dreams. I feel your whispers across the sea. I keep you with me in my heart. You make it easier when life gets hard.
I love her tone in this song. It's beautiful. What I like about HANNI probably the most is her confidence. She is a very confident singer. She has a lot of movement in her voice, which are those runs and riffs especially. And she has a strong low register, which is usually not very glamorized, but it is incredibly important. And a lot of people are lacking that. And I just overall, she knows how to work with her tone quality and air like that.
Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again.
Oh, they sound so beautiful together.
They don't know how long it takes waiting for a love like this. Every time we say goodbye.
This kind of delayed layering in the song that is used in the original as well, of course, for them two voices. They're really beautifully intertwining.
Goodbye.
I wish we'd had one more kiss. I'll wait for you. I promise you I will. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend.
You can hear her versatility in here. So she is a lower set vocalist, which is perfectly fine. But when she is layering on top of his voice, she's using a much brighter space in her voice and creating that really kind of uplifting part of this duet, right?
Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. Lucky we're in love in every way. Lucky to have stayed where we have stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday.
It's so cute.
So I'm sailing through the sea to an island where we meet. You hear the music, feel the air. I put a flower in your hair.
Oh, Ali started to fry quite a lot. He might have got inspired by HANNI. Who would not? She makes, like, you know, sometimes fries a lot, but with people like HANNI, they make it sound so interesting and charming and sexy in the end. Really nice.
Through the trees, it moves so pretty. You're all I see as the world keeps spinning around. You hold me right here, right now. I'm lucky I'm in love with my best friend. lucky to have been where I have been, lucky to be.
She's a good storyteller. I think her voice can carry it because she does have a lot of modulation in it, but not too much that it would be entirely distracting from the story.
Coming home again. Lucky we're in love in every way. Lucky to have stayed where we have stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday.
See, there's this very tiny contrast between them. That's why a lot of people are always lobbying, like, there should be the biggest contrast possible in duets. I really do disagree, because if sometimes you don't need that to get a really nice layering. Still, they're not merging together whatsoever. They're not clashing. It's just creating that really sustained sound with a little bit of a different colors in it. Beautiful. Really pretty. All right, so Honey, or I would say Mrs. Honey voice at the same time, really surprised me. I loved her confidence. I loved the movement in her voice. I was just, that's a singer that you can listen to for hours and hours. I am really excited to hear her in the NewJeans. I hope that she is having pretty major vocal position, because like, hello. So I'm very excited about that. If you do have any recommendations for me to react to from the NewJeans performances, please let me know. I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm here for it. And this is gonna be my first time reaction as well. So choose wisely. I'll be looking down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, here is the subscribe button. Here is the video that YouTube actually recommends for you. And here is rest of my Korean reactions. Please stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next time.